Hello everybody, welcome back for another video on the channel. Hope you're all doing well and welcome back. In today's video, as you can see from the title down below, we are going to be talking about our owner Kevin Nagle, where for me the time has come where he needs to start waking up and seeing reality before it is too late here. I'm going to discuss everything. I'm going to go through since he came to the club, how it's happened to anyone that doesn't know. And then we're going to really get into the nitty gritty and I'm going to share my thoughts. Guys, if you want to get involved as well, make sure you do comment your thoughts down below. And also, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you can as well. Your support is greatly appreciated. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get stuck into it. So Kevin Nagle is our owner, an American businessman who officially took over the club in the summer of 2023. In that time from then until now, it has been a very bumpy ride. There's no sugarcoating this. It has been a very bumpy ride. It has seen us get relegated to League One at the end of last season, in his first season as an owner. Now, we're going to go into the debate about this wasn't all just down to him. We've been struggling for years. Yes, that's fine. But every year is an opportunity to really just wipe the slate clean and just go and just start afresh. We have been down. We have been struggling for years prior when he came in. But that doesn't mean that it's okay that we've ended up going down when he's all of a sudden took in charge. So yeah, but that's another conversation. I'm not going to go down that road. I've already kind of shared my thoughts on that. But yeah, as I was saying, now League One is a league that we hadn't been in for 12 years. And I just think the way he has chosen the people that he's decided to run the club, practically his friends, basically, to run the day-to-day operation of the club, as obviously Nagle doesn't live in his country. He obviously does live in America still, so he comes back and forth every now and then. So he has to have people that really do run the day-to-day operations of the club more so than if an owner actually lived over here. Now, for me, it's not for me. It's for a lot of people. It's been a disaster. The fact that he's employed somebody like Mark Cartwright, who is the sporting director, who the decision making from this guy has been absolutely shocking. Last season, going through so many managers, chopping and changing managers, recruitment awful, and wasting money on players that are just simply not worth that amount of money, i.e. in the January window, when we go and sign players that are basically injury plagued players. That's what we did. Where was the due diligence? Where was that? Why should I trust somebody that is continuously made bad decision after bad decision at this club ever since he walked through the door? I'm not going to. So people can keep pretending that it's all okay, and just because you're too far up the owner's backside to realise the reality of all this doesn't mean everybody else has to be in the same boat. And I think a lot of people want Mark Cartwright anyway, to be honest with you, because we've seen it firsthand, and now the fact that the recruitment of the players and the managers he chose as well, us fans wanted him gone at the end of last season, myself included, but Nagle wouldn't listen, and he kept a guy that let him down time after time after time, and he's not a failure in the English game, because the other job that he's had in England, it was at Stoke as a sporting director, and he ruined them for years. So this is nothing new. So for him to turn around and keep him when so many fans were saying, no, we need to get rid of him if this club is going to even go for getting back up at the first attempt? Because reality is when you've got somebody like that running the day-to-day operations, you really are giving yourself no hope to get back up to it, because he is totally incompetent, and he's proven that. Because even in League One, even in the summer, our number one priority, everybody knows it, was a striker, a quality striker that was experienced and knew the league and knows where the back of the net is ultimately. And what did we go and do? We went after Alfie May, then we went after Joe Taylor, missed out on both, and then what did we do? We go out and get a freebie in Freddie Ladapo, which is an absolute insult to the fan base. Because it's an insult. Bringing somebody like that in is an insult. And then come back to us when we signed him, we've been monitoring him all summer. What a load of absolute nonsense. No, we were not monitoring him all summer. And if that's the calibre of player that you're wanting to bring to this club, well, we are truly finished. Because he's an embarrassment to be a footballer. Yes, I don't care what he's done before. I don't care. He's 31 years of age. He is, even at his previous clubs, a lot of fans at his previous clubs have questioned his attitude, his application, his real desire for the club that he plays for. And we're bringing in somebody that he isn't going to upgrade the team, he's going to decrease the team. So that is just one example, guys, of the utter rubbish that is being served to us, and we are actually having to sit there and accept it. Well, no, not everybody wants to accept this, because this is the club. This is our club. The fans make this, the heart and soul of this club. Managers, chairmen, players come and go, but the true fans stick with the club forever, and so that is the bottom line of it. So yeah, so that is kind of what is kind of a little backdrop of the story of what's happened over the past year or so. Now, we were made false promises as well in the summer, which, again, where we were told, we would be having a full rebuild, which that was all talk in the end, because it simply didn't happen. Because I'm sorry, if you're keeping a lot of these players who have let us down for far too long now with their weak mentality and their questionable attitudes a lot of the time, and you're keeping those players, that isn't part of a rebuild. Signing utter dross in the transfer window isn't a rebuild. Keeping staff that underperform isn't a rebuild. Painting the stadium isn't a rebuild. So what rebuild was he honestly talking about? Or was this just another lie, once again, to appease the fans and get fans excited? Because, to me, it's just another false promise, lie, whatever you want to call it. Never happened. The rebuild never happened. Now, one thing I will say is that he has put a lot of money into the club since arriving, absolutely. But the reality is, if he's trusting the wrong people with his money, that is being completely wasted, then he's practically wasting his own money. That's what he's doing. Now, obviously, the stadium situation with the with the stadium not being ours for so long now, and obviously the council owning, the land, and the state, half of the shares of the stadium, things like that. The fact that he has been able to break through that, and it's not officially being confirmed, but it's more or less done now. It's just waiting now, because obviously we were kind of told about that can't remember when it was now, but I think it might have been last month. So yeah, the stadium looks like it's ours, which we've been wanting for years, and that's a real positive, because it just allows us to make the stadium our own and to feel like it is more of our home rather than having the council involved in everything, and it's just not beneficial, is it? So yeah, that's a lot better for us. But I just think the bottom line is, when you're not getting when you're not getting the things right on the pitch, which is what is most important, then what is done at the stadium with the improvements that have been started to be made, and like I said, painting the stadium over the summer was all well and good, and yes, it looks good, but it makes no difference when we're seeing the same inconsistency, we're seeing the same mistakes happen over and over again, we're seeing the same rubbish on the pitch. That's the bottom line. So whilst that is good that we've made the breakthrough with the stadium, where we are going to get full control of the stadium, the reality is the what is happening on the pitch and the results and the players that represent the club. That's the most important, first and foremost. And I think if you look at it as well, like I said, we have been promised so much with very little delivery in what has actually been said. Now, this is where us as town fans have lost trust. Because us fans who want success, that is, of course, have lost trust. Quite a lot of this fan base are just living in fake positivity land and far too kind of engage with the chairman and making out that they know him inside out and all that, rather than actually wanting success on the field. I'm sorry, what is this? Is this a football club, or is this a social gathering? And I think since he's come in, we've kind of seen that he's a very active person on social media. That has had its pros and cons, to be honest with you. And I think there's a lot of cons than pros, unfortunately. Because from what I've seen, I just think it's been utter chaos on there. And I would much rather him just provide updates here and there and just be like that, instead of being so full on with the social media side of things, because he just gets too overpowering, in my opinion. And what I mean by that is, when he's too full on, I mean that when you open yourself up to the fans as much as he has done since he's come through the door, then you are going to get a lot of engagement. Because we're not used, I don't think many clubs in this country are used to this, where the owner is so much, so active on social media. A lot of chairmen aren't even on social media, so it is very unusual to have that in this country. But when you open yourself up to the fans, then that does open up so much criticism when things aren't going right, and that is the reality of it all. And I think the way he's reacted to all of that as well, I think it's just really been unprofessional. It's been really childish, the way that has all been handled, in my opinion. Because when you're coming out and when fans are just expressing their concerns, I'm not on about fans that take it too far and do get, overstep the line. I'm not talking about those kind of fans. What I am talking about is the fans that just say their honest concerns about what is actually happening with the club. And we have every right to do that. This is, like I say, we pay our hard-earned money to go and watch our club. This is our heart and soul. This is our club. But when he's ever had any kind of criticism, we have just been labelled as noise and to basically just shut up. That's how it comes across. Antagonising fans as well. I don't like it. The most recent one is when we got knocked out of the FA Cup last week. And there was absolutely right to be a big reaction to that. And he did put a post up covering this. And he did get a big negative reaction from town fans. Because it's not acceptable. And when he's coming back and antagonising the fans the way he does, it's not a good look. So keep being antagonising, keep being disrespectful to the fans that want success, to the fans that care the most. Because I think the fans that just live in fake positivity land and are too far engaged with the chairman rather than focusing on actually what's happening in the club, I think the priorities are totally wrong. And that's why I asked that question earlier to you, the fans. What do you want? Where do you want this club to go? And why are you so engaged with this owner? Why? You should want the best for the football club first and foremost. And when he isn't delivering, we should be demanding change. Not just accepting it and accepting mediocrity and expecting low standards. Or no standards. However you want to look at it. Very, very low standards if we've got any slight of standards. And I think the video diary as well, I've said it before, I don't like them. This is where he spouts all his nonsense and delivers very little. He says a lot of things to get fans on board and to excite fans, and then what do we get after that? We don't get a right lot. It's all action, no words. I think they're very cringy, these video diaries. I don't particularly understand it. And he spends a lot of his time on them as well, bantering fans that have every right to express their concerns. Like I said earlier, he doesn't like that. He doesn't seem to take to that very nicely. And when people are just being, are just being respectful and just saying that, what the heck is going on here and just expressing their concerns about the direction of the club, then he shouldn't be reacting the way he does, because we are just wanting the best for this club. I just never understand why we can't, as a fan base, have high standards and stop this emotional connection with the owner. Because the reality is the owners come and go, a chairman, players, managers, all that, they come and go. So we should all be demanding that change, and I've said it before. And so, the whole point of this video was surrounding why the owner needs to wake up and see reality before it's too late. And I'll tell you why, because we are standing still right now. We have been on a downward spiral for far too long. Fans have had enough of this. We've had years and years and years of failure, less delivery, whether it was with him in charge or not, it doesn't matter. The fans have had enough. And when we see how things have developed since he's come in, I think the fans that want to speak the truth and want to be honest with themselves, they will say it has been very demoralising from how this is all played out. Because ultimately we have been relegated and we now find ourselves in a league that just isn't where we want it to be at all. And I think unless something fundamentally changes at the top, better people in the board, then we will continue to sign up to dross in the transfer and we will continue to go downhill. I don't see any other direction we're going other than down, or standing still in this league. More action, less words, because whilst our chairman continues to say lots of words without much delivery, the town fans that want to see the truth and want to see reality, and there's I see a lot of people on social media that do say the truth. A lot of truth that some of the fans don't like, the ones that want to pretend that everything's all rosy, and more so if we win a game of football, everything's all amazing, incredible. Well, no, it's not. See what is happening and wake up. Because yeah, like I said, the longer this goes on, where we are just continuously downplayed, we are not seeing results, we are not feeling listened to the full effects, then we'll continue to get frustrated, because there's only so much the fan base can go to and trust you with, and then it's up to you then. If you keep saying all these words and not delivering, then fans will get frustrated, whether you like it or not. I just don't particularly like the way we are described as noise, and to basically shut up as well. But look, fundamental changes has happened in this club, and I think it was an important video to put out today. Not because I want to hound the chairman, not because I want to be negative towards the chairman, because I do believe, just a small bit, I do believe that he has got good intentions for this club. But he needs to learn from his mistakes, because if he's going to continuously do this, then I don't see a happy ending with all this, in terms of the direction we're going. We're just going to keep sinking, because this club right now, whether people like to downplay or not, we're a sinking ship, and we have been for a number of years now. So we have a big responsibility as the fans to keep raising our voices, and to keep standing up and speaking up for the club that we all love, because that's the only way we are going to. That's the only thing we can do. But demanding change, and to demand that we get better people in that boardroom that can take us forward. We want to be taken forward, not backwards. And whilst those people remain in the board, Mark Cartwright being the biggest one of them all, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change in my eyes, because we've seen this downplay over the past year, and I've seen enough to realise that it's not going to improve under this utter idiot that doesn't have a clue how to. It shouldn't even be in the role he is in, to be honest with you. I don't really know how he's managed to pull that one off. And to be in that such high role, I don't know how he's managed to do it. Because didn't have any credentials when Nagle brought him in, other than maybe being in America, and that's all well and good. But when the chairman is doing the same thing, like I said, it's not another important thing to say is that the chairman owns a club in America, but it's an amateur club, and that's being polite. It is an amateur club. You can't run that club the same way as you run this club in England, unfortunately, because it won't be sustainable. Over there in America, from my understanding, it is all about the experience of going. It doesn't matter about the results; it's about the experience of what going to the stadium, having entertainment before the game and everything like that. It's completely different. I think Nagle has been very naive since he's come in, but I just think unless he just starts learning his lessons, we're not going to go anywhere with this. So yeah, that's my opinions. Please make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below as well. But this was a video from the heart. I really firmly believe that we have to keep pushing for change. We have to keep demanding more, because we are getting very little. We're getting very little on the pitch. Inconsistent performances, players that couldn't care less. And then you've got managers and players coming out and targeting, aiming stuff towards the fans, which I haven't liked this season either. Downplaying the atmosphere as well in the stadium and at home games. It's not acceptable that the reality is, if they can't see common sense, and then I don't know what the answer is, because you shouldn't be directing stuff at the fans that turn up every week. We turn up every week, and that's it. So the atmospheres are flat because we're in League One. The atmospheres are flat because we are consistently let down by this club. The atmospheres are flat because we see players that show zero pride for wearing the blue and white striped shirt. They don't show any desire, they don't show any commitment. We haven't got a team to be proud of. So there is many reasons why the atmosphere can be flat, but to come out and say it's a strange atmosphere, which is what Duff said, I just think you need to just see reality here and have a bit of context before saying stuff like that, because we are not where we want to be in league. We don't want to be in this league. You can't exactly get excited to come up against teams that you're facing in League One. That's no disrespect. Yes, there's bigger teams than others in the league, but on the whole, you can't get excited to come against the opposition you're coming against. And I think the football that is in League One is dreadful. Let's be honest. It's not good at all. So yeah, there's many factors. But anyway, guys, I've waffled on for a little bit too long than I thought I would do. But let's hope that we do start to see some changes in the not so distant future. Because enough is enough. We can't go on like this. And we need to start making some changes before it is too late. But guys, thanks all for your support, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody, and thanks for listening.